It was very much in favor of having graduated rates, namely that he would allow there to be universal pre-K, but he knew that there would be a waste of money if we gave this pre-K to very affluent families. First of all, a lot of affluent families wouldn't take it. And secondly, that they could pay in a way that disadvantaged families couldn't. So he was very, very enthusiastic about the idea of having a graduated scale. And to an economist, this is like a payment schedule based on needs. So I thought he made some very useful contributions to me, and I incorporated that in some of my own work.
He made a real difference in terms of social policy in the United States. He was smart, he was savvy, he was connected. He knew how to bridge academia and the real world.
He was one of a handful of people that had it all when it came to early childhood. He understood the policies, he understood the mechanics of early childhood and why it was failing in many ways, many of our families. And in addition to that, he understood the politics of Washington.
In 1978, Ed had been back from Washington, D.C. for about 6 years and had been completely convinced that the biggest challenge that we have in applied child development is that people who understand child development don't understand much about policy. And people who understand and are making policy decisions on behalf of children and families don't know much about the science of child development. And so in 1978, he got a grant from the Archibald Bush Foundation of Minnesota to create the Bush Center in Child Development and Social Policy.
At the Bush Foundation, we invest in great ideas and the people who power them. That is our tagline, and it's also our strategy. And marrying child development research with policy formation, translating the science into strategies to support the well-being of kids and families is a great idea. The investment we made in the creation of the Yale Center from way back in 1977 are significant in the history of the Bush Foundation. And in our future, we're excited to continue to see the long-term impact of this work.
The Smith-Richardson Foundation's long relationship with Ed Zigler began in 1986 when he helped the foundation launch its Children and Families at Risk program. At the time, the foundation was concerned about the well-being of children living in unstable families with low incomes and limited opportunities for upward mobility. We asked several leading social policy experts to identify scholars who understood best what kinds of public policies and programmatic interventions could most effectively promote the healthy development of children from disadvantaged backgrounds. They all pointed to Ed.
It was really Ed Zigler's vision that created the Bush Center in Child Development and Social Policy at Yale that we renamed the Edward Zigler Center in Child Development and Social Policy in 2005. It was a way to be able to remember his legacy, but it was also a way to be able to remind us all of the fact that a good vision, a good imagination can create things that can have a huge impact on everyone else that follows, simply because you're impacting the way in which they think about things. The Zigler Center has changed the trajectory of many people at Yale who have participated in it, taken people who understood and were interested in science and made them very fascinated about how to move policy. People who understood policy but didn't know much about child development, and helped them be able to gain the skills that they needed in order to be able to be the kind of people who would be the leaders of the future.